Hello, everybody, and welcome to Asgard. I am, of course, the critic who is a cynic, and how is everyone doing this morning? Yes, indeed, we are doing a mixture of streams today because yesterday I was unable to do my typical one-man low council stream, and so I figured I might as well combine it with the wrestling stream that I'm starting to do on Wednesdays, and also I'm making this an open forum / WWE / AEW / anything wrestling wise you want to talk about stream, simply because because of a lot of craziness going on behind the scenes, have not caught up on really anything. I literally was able to have time this morning to watch the first 10 minutes of Raw this week. So I've made this an open forum, so that way we can talk about pretty much anything, not just Raw and SmackDown from this week, but pretty much anything else that you want to talk about, we can talk about. Of course, it could be a wrestling-focused podcast episode, wrestling-focused stream episode, as I know Alex McCarthy, who's in the chat right now, what's up, good sir, and Mr. Peabody, what's going on, Mr. Peabody? But especially people like Alex McCarthy love talking about wrestling, so anything that you want to bring up, man, of course, you can go ahead and spoil away anything, because obviously it's on me for not keeping up with this stuff, but I know, of course, about Brock Lesnar and how basically the WWE has screwed over its fans once again by promoting, and we knew, I mean, anyone that's been following this for a while knew that Brock Lesnar was not going to be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Monday, but of course they promoted it as such, which to me is just disingenuous because you're trying to basically sell tickets, you're trying to boost ratings, all based on a lie that insiders, I'm sure, know is a lie, but yeah, it is what it is. Alex McCarthy says, so you missed Taker on Raw and SmackDown. Taker showed up on Raw and SmackDown. Okay, I got you. Well, they are trying to boost up this upcoming show in Saudi Arabia, which in my mind, seriously, is still something that bothers me tremendously. I don't know about you guys, but I really want WWE to get the hell out of Saudi Arabia until Saudi Arabia is able to get its stuff figured out, until it's able to get its stuff, together, because at the end of the day, Saudi Arabia just comes across as such a sketchy country with so many sketchy things going on, especially, again, going back all the way last year. Oh my God, it's almost been a full year, I think, at this point, when, maybe even more than that at this point, when that, an American, obviously, I think, he was not originally, but he was someone who was working for an American company, I think it was the Washington Post, where a journalist was killed. And that was, of course, done underneath the Saudi Arabia regime, which they knew about and they've been very sketchy about on top of. And so I really do feel that WWE needs to start to really take that more seriously, because I think they are damaging their global brand by continuing to have these types of relationships with countries like this. The fact that they care more about money and less about overall sentiment. The fact that they have wrestlers, that are refusing to go on these shows because of this nonsense, I think should speak volumes, but also, especially with AEW coming out strong. I mean, Double or Nothing was a great pay-per-view. They've been continuing to sign on people. They are continuing to draw more and more people, especially those that are so angry and frustrated and infuriated with everything going on with WWE. And we know that there are plenty of wrestlers that want out of their contract. I mean, there are plenty that have already made it public that they want out of their contract, but WWE, because they're being petty, are deciding not to. For example, Luke Harper wants out of his contract, and yet they're holding on to them, even though he's been told, we got no plans for you whatsoever creatively. We're going to hold you until the end of your contract, and even then, we might even try to put some legal loophole to say that, you were injured part of that time, and so therefore we're going to tack that on. It's really ridiculous. It's sad because some of these wrestlers who are so damn talented, who have all the potential in the world, and all that potential is being stifled by the WWE creative team. And of course, at the head of that is Vince McMahon himself. And I'm not going to take anything away from the things that Vince McMahon has been able to do with this company. But at the end of the day, it really does seem clearly at this point, and more people are starting to understand very much more clearly that Vince is someone that probably needs to get taken out of the overall creative picture. He does not have the same fire. He does not have the same creative spark that he once had. Sure, he pulls out a diamond every now and then, but I really do feel that it's probably because of people like Triple H behind the scenes, because of crowd reaction, because of him, crowds actually getting a voice. And I really do hope that eventually the WWE is going to be able to find its place again, because I think the WWE has a great potential. It has a rich history. It's just unfortunate that all of this stuff, all of this nonsense is just being so destructive, I would say, to the actual profit itself, to the actual profit margins and just to the overall product itself. All right, so heading over to my YouTube's people first. Don't worry, D-Live, I see you on D-Live. And don't forget, guys, if you're on D-Live, if you want to get my attention, just put @Odin anywhere in your comment. Just @Odin anywhere in your comment on D-Live, and I'll know that you're trying to reach out to me, have me read your comment or read a question or anything to that effect. And then on YouTube, @Welcome to Asgard, though, of course, with it being so slow, I might be able to take everyone's comments. But just let me know by adding, like, maybe at least @Odin on even YouTube, too, just so that way I know you're trying to talk to me and not just talking to somebody else in the chat. So McCarthy is here. Brad Noble says, AEW, AEW. Indeed. Brad Noble says, Taker wants that Saudi cash. Yeah, he does. I mean, hey, and you know what? If he's going to make a crap ton of money for it, that's on him. However, I honestly still don't think that's enough, to justify being able to give up and give into a regime that is not a very good one for the sake of money. Again, I think that's despicable. Spy Flash says, on time for the Low Man Council. Well, I mean, I was not able to have one last night. There was a lot of craziness going on. Of course, I had rehearsal last night, but also I was just struggling with a lot of anxiety and a lot of just feeling just really, really down. And I made a vlog, and the vlog footage has not been uploaded to the channel yet, but it will be later today. Basically, more so, and me finding out that the school where I used to work at, the school that I was not offered a contract for because there was not enough room, apparently, for me because of enrollment numbers and because we were bringing people in, bringing religious in, etc. I just got an email notification from where I got my master's degree program from because they oftentimes send emails out whenever any schools in the area are looking for teachers, specifically high schools. And sure enough, my old high school, I get an email saying, oh, my old high school is looking for a theology teacher. And so I get that, and I'm thinking to myself immediately, well, then why in the hell was I not given a contract in the first place, and what the hell's going on? And, I would love explanations behind this. And I know part of me is like, oh, you're done. Your contract's up over there, because my contract is up over there. I'm no longer affiliated with them. Obviously, they still owe me a couple things, but at the end of the day, my contract is up. But at the same time, too, it hurts because it's more, I guess, a pride thing. And also remember that I was taken away from the situation. My hand was forced. It was not a choice that I made. As happy as I am, and me and Frey are both happy, and we feel so blessed to have been given this opportunity to move to Tennessee. And of course, that is still going on. That is still fully planned. Just the fact that the place that I was told I couldn't work at because of space now is trying to get somebody else to fill in a position that I was already there for is very infuriating. And I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm sure there are people who are going to say, oh, well, there were contracts that were signed and then people decided not to come back. And so it, opened up in that way. But at the end of the day, I just think that it really just goes to show you that it's being very poorly run behind the scenes. And that's pretty much all I can say about that at this point. Peabody says, sorry, I know nothing about wrestling. It's all good, man. As McCarthy says, yes, he beat up Seth. Not cool, since I've been told my wife I look like a chunky Seth. He beat up Seth. So he beat up Seth and then just left? Like, I don't know. Or did someone, is that when Undertaker came in or something? I don't know. Whatever. Brad says, the only time I love John Cena refusing to go to Saudi. I mean, seriously, the only time that I have any respect for John Cena are two occasions. Whenever he does anything, because, I mean, let's just give the man his due. Anytime that he does any of that stuff with Make-A-Wish, it's awesome. Like, seriously, the kids love him. And so him dedicating his time to that is great. But then, yeah, him also rejecting, saying, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia because that's stupid. I also have a lot of respect for him because of that as well. As McCarthy says, Kevin Owens is refusing to go, hence why Dolph is facing Kofi. Yeah, no, seriously, that's the reason why you have all of these crazy storylines. That's why, essentially, Saudi Arabia doesn't even matter. I mean, seriously, they're creating storylines out of thin air simply because their wrestlers do not want to go, and for good reason. I mean, Kevin Owens isn't going because his best friend, one of his real life best friends, Sami Zayn, who is Syrian, was not either was not allowed to go during the last time or did not want to go because obviously of the tensions that exist among him and his heritage. And I think that, again, that is absolutely ridiculous. And so kudos to Kevin Owens for standing up with his friend and saying, nope, I'm not going either. But also, too, it's sending creative into a giant cluster. And so the question's asked, okay, then why the hell should I even watch? In fact, you know what? I know that I'm not, at least live, going to watch that show. I might just catch up on, I'm either going to catch up on just the overall updates. I might just follow and see, let me look and see what the results were on paper, or I might watch it through another means. Because even though I have the network, it's like I almost don't even want to give them the view. I don't even want to give them the time. I want them to show them that, yeah, you might be getting that Saudi money, but you're hurting your fan base, and you're making your fan base want to go elsewhere. And AEW is offering you a very, very compelling alternative. And that's why I cannot wait for October. I cannot wait for the fall when they finally have their own weekly show, because I think their weekly show is going to be amazing. If they're able to put on, and especially since they're not going to do this 3-hour nonsense, I don't know if it's going to be an hour or two. I'm assuming it's going to be about 2 hours. But the fact that they're probably going to focus more so on just great in-ring storytelling, as well as, of course, behind-the-scenes stuff, because you can't get away from behind-the-scenes stuff. But actual wrestling, that to me is going to make all of the hardcore fans that are NXT people that are watching the main show because they're hoping and praying that some of the people that they love on the main shows are going to finally be able to shine, might be finally able to move on. So AEW is providing a huge, I would say, out for a lot of wrestlers that are unhappy with their contracts, but also on top of that as well, are really going to have an impact on the future of the WWE, I would say. Brad Noble says, KO just needs his own sitcom, The Guy Slayers. Oh, I agree. KO is great. Seriously, KO is fantastic. The fact that they made him face and then turned him heel randomly, I didn't like that. I thought, no, let him be face for a bit. He works as a face. He's a good face. He's a good heel. He's good at all of these things. He's a talented guy. He can do whatever it is that you need him to do. Just let the guy do his thing, and don't put him in development hell and put him in storylines that don't give a damn, that don't mean a damn. Force Coach Jeremy, what's going on, bruv? He says, good afternoon from England. Hope everything is going fine with the baby. Hope the baby is fine. Brad says, wait, this isn't D-Live? It's not where you currently are, Brad. Brad, get over there. We need a mod over there. Alice Bradley says, the goddess Alexa Bliss beat Charlotte and Mella in a triple threat to face Bayley for SmackDown Live's Women's Championship. Hopefully Alexa wins. Well, I'm glad that Alexa Bliss won, because good Lord, if it was a Charlotte again, God, the fact that Charlotte's, what, a 9-time, 10-time Women's Champion now is ridiculous. Because all those reigns meant almost nothing, because so many of them are extremely short. Brad says, does Vince McMahon run that school? It seems like it, dude. It seems like it. It's definitely heel tactics on behalf of my old school. Definitely heel tactics for sure. Spotty Flash says, don't maybe frustrating that God has plans. No, again, it's one of those things where I'm not going to forget. So going back just to what I was saying about my school situation, I'm not going to forget the fact that I and my wife have been given a tremendous opportunity, and that I'm thankful for it, and I see it truly as a blessing in disguise. But at this point in time, I just look at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, but I was still forced into the situation, and I don't like that. I don't like being forced in a situation. I like things to have, I like to have control. I like to have the ability to make the choice myself. And again, also I think about my guys. The fact that I was taken away from my guys is how I'm viewing it. That's going to hurt. I mean, that's going to hurt for a while, because there's a lot of those guys, a lot of my juniors especially. And again, that's why I'm so glad my last exam was with my juniors. And there were a couple of them that I've taught for 3 straight years. So I've seen them grow up. I've seen them develop. I've had awesome conversations with them and their parents. I mean, one of them especially, I've gotten to know his parents so well, and his parents are awesome. And he has a good head on his shoulders. I mean, he's wacky as all get out, but you know what? He has a good head on his shoulders. He knows what he wants to do. He knows that he just needs to be able to graduate to get the basic degree, because he wants to go off and he wants to actually do something with his hands. He wants to actually do either the trade school, where you don't really need to be academically gifted. You just need to be able to know what the hell you're doing with your hands. And so, and it was always great to have conversations with him and with all those other people. And so that's the reason why I'm frustrated. That's the reason why. Again, there's no anger towards God in any of this. It's purely anger and frustration at just how incompetent certain parties seem to be, and how I think it's going to have a negative impact on the school, but also a negative impact on the kids. And that's where my heart is always first and foremost, is on those kids. Let's see. Alex McCarthy says, Brock was going to cash in, but just slap the crap out of Seth with a chair. Seth went to the hospital. That's stupid. Dude, Alex McCarthy, dude, that's so stupid. And I can understand why people would be mad about that. I mean, you're going to go ahead and say, we're going to cash in, and then, we're just going to beat you up. How about, okay, you beat him up, you cash in, because remember how it used to be that if you were going to cash in your Money in the Bank contract, that the person had to be able to at least stand before you rang the bell? Well, that was done away with the last time there was a cash-in. Because remember, when the women's cash-in happened with Bayley, what happened? The champion, Charlotte, she was on the ground when the bell got rung. So they pretty much did away with that as being a rule, at least in my mind. So, obviously they're doing it because they want to try and prop up, Saudi Arabia and be like, we got to get that Saudi Arabia money. We got to get all that hype for the Saudi Arabia show. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, then why the hell are you doing this storyline then? Why the hell are you saying, he's going to cash in, even though we know For anyone that's been following the WWE for any period of time knows that that's just not how it runs, that's not what's going to happen. It's stupid. Brad says, YouTube is full of great indie matches. Oh, I know, man. I know. There are some awesome indie promotions out there, indie wrestlers out there, and I really hope AEW gets them. Because here's the thing. AEW is different. AEW is not the same thing as the WWE because AEW does not get you in these ironclad contracts that you can't escape from. AEW is almost like hey, if you want to come and wrestle for us every now and then, you can create a contract with us. We can work out your terms. We can work out, how much you get paid. Obviously, I think that if you're going to commit more time and more of your identity, I guess you could say, to AEW, I think that earns you more money. Obviously, I think that just makes sense from a business perspective. But AEW seems a lot more like hey, if you are from another promotion and your promotion will allow it, if you want to come in and have a run on our show, we'll give you a contract. You can have a run on our show, but then guess what? You can continue to wrestle elsewhere. You can continue to go elsewhere. Because AEW is thinking it from a more business perspective, which is that, hey, fans will tune in and will care more about us getting in all of these really cool, awesome names, these indie wrestlers that they want to see on these shows facing the guys that we have, more so than watching a overstuffed roster like on SmackDown and Raw, where more than half of them aren't even being utilized, and then the ones that are being utilized are being put into storyline hell and are put into the worst feuds and storylines imaginable. So AEW has already almost a damn near perfect system. Now, of course, we still got to wait to see how they're able to do with the ratings because unfortunately ratings matter when it comes to television. But I think they're going to do fine. I honestly think they're going to do fine. They've got a millionaire behind their back. They've got a millionaire who believes completely in what they're doing. You have people running AEW that know what the hell they're doing. They've got years upon years in the business. They have families, they are royalty. I mean, the Rhodes family is essentially one of the royal families of wrestling, seeing that they've, their family's been involved with wrestling for so long. They've got great people to give a great product. And so as long as they're able to just keep that straight and narrow and to keep their eye on that prize, I don't think it's going to take very long for AEW to be a legitimate competitor. Now, of course, we can talk about globalism and talk about how, WWE is going to have just the global market on lockdown when it comes to overall numbers and watches and views, etc. And that might be true. But when you start to have a competitor, when you start to have a competitor that's going to be so compelling that it's going to lead to wrestlers saying, I'm going to let my contract expire and then I'm going to leave and go elsewhere because guess what? I'll have a lot more life over there than I will here. I think it's going to be incredible. And also too, wrestlers don't have to be afraid. Indie wrestlers don't have to be afraid about being put into stupid storylines because guess what? They can say, all right, I can see that your show is already pretty packed with people. How about this? I'll sign on a short-term contract so that way I can have a special promotion, and then as soon as that's over, I can go ahead and leave. And then that way, I don't have to get lost in the shuffle. I can continue to do my own thing on the behind the scenes. I mean, again, AEW is just setting up itself to be the place to be, to be the next best thing. And so that's why I'm so excited to be able to start to watch that. I cannot wait. I wish that they would start tomorrow. Or tonight, really, because I think their shows are going to be on Wednesdays in the fall. But, I mean, seriously, AEW, continue on. Don't give up. AEW, you keep on that straight and narrow path, man, because you have so much potential. So much potential. All right, Alex McCarthy says, the only matches that intrigue me are Taker versus Goldberg and Triple H versus Randy Orton. Well, Taker versus Goldberg would have interested me like 20 years ago. Now it's just two old guys that are going to be, grappling a little bit? And I can only imagine that it's going to be a quick match. I mean, I don't see how they could possibly go for a long period of time. Triple H, Randy Orton, that's going to be a long match because Triple H loves to go with his long matches. He loves to have the longest match of the night. Triple H, Randy Orton's probably going to go like 30 minutes, at least. And I'm sure the storytelling in that match is going to be better than some of the others in the show because Triple H and Randy Orton, obviously, they have a history and they've been really pushing that. And I think they've been pushing that pretty well. I think so far, Triple H versus Randy Orton is the only story that has any really compelling arc to it. But even that one, it's just really come out of nowhere because they haven't wrestled, they haven't had a feud in 10 years? So the fact that their greatest feuds that they have are almost completely worthless at this point is really sad. And Taker versus Goldberg, again, that would have been great if they were in their prime. It could have been interesting when they were in their prime, but it is what it is. Brad Noble says, I miss KO yelling at Renee Young. I just made Odin's list. Yes, you did, Brad. You just did make my list. And yeah, KO, dude. KO is freaking amazing. I'm headed over my D-Live people. R-rated conservative. Awesome, man. What's up? He says, morning, sir. What are your thoughts on AEW? Again, I've been talking about AEW. I think it's great. R-rated conservative says, Saudi Arabia show is a disgrace. It's a party. It's partly why Linda lost her cabinet gig. Oh, I didn't know that Linda McMahon is no longer a part of the cabinet in the United States government. I did not know that. That does not surprise me, though, because obviously that's a pretty big deal to be married to someone doing that. Oh my goodness, it's Keemstar. Really? Is it Keematar? Well, I don't know what that is. All right, it says, don't forget the women are forbidden to attend or perform. Yeah, don't forget about that. Didn't they say that that Renee Young might be announcing? I doubt that. I highly doubt that. Yeah, seriously. And you know what's so funny? This all ties into the comments that we've been recently having on the YouTube channel with people like Sophie Turner and all the other liberal elites in Hollywood about how they're like, women are mistreated here. Okay, yeah. How about Saudi Arabia, where for a wrestling show, they're not allowed to compete? Women are not allowed to compete in a wrestling match. And if you look at that crowd, you see to yourself, oh man, yeah, this is still, United States is the patriarchy. If you want to see patriarchy, go ahead and look to those countries. Oh, we can't say that though. That's too risky. That's too much of a risk if we do that. We don't want to make anyone mad or frustrated, right? By speaking the truth. R-rated conservative says, WWE will be finished within 5 years unless Vincent Kennedy, my man, throws a 7. Well, basically, R-rated conservative, I would say that they need a major change. And what I'm hoping is that once his XFL 2.0 starts and he focuses more so on that, was that next year, that's going to leave more room for leadership jobs and positions over at WWE. Now, I'm sure Vince being Vince, he's going to try and do both, but I really do hope that at the very least is going to be able to move and really push and promote other people to take a more creative part, whether it's Triple H, whether it's someone else behind the scenes, and let those people be the ones to take over the main shows because they at least could do something with it. They at least could do something with all that. Boastful Spoon says, PewDiePie. What's up? Yes, subscribe to PewDiePie. Peabody, what's going on, man? Boastful Spoon says, hey, Brad Beer Hunter says, is this where the Saudi cash is? I'm sure it is. Brad Beer Hunter says, my sticker for how WWE treats Sami Zayn, RIP. Yep, seriously. Sami Zayn has been so underutilized. It's sad. He's one of the most talented wrestlers they have. He's one of the most talented promotions they have. And he's being, written into oblivion at this point. Brad Beer Hunter says, Taker versus Goldberg in a Texas Walker match. Good Lord. Wouldn't that be something? Is there actually a stipulation for that match? As I said, I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown this week. I've fallen so far behind. That's why this is more of an open forum. So if you want to talk about anything else too, obviously wrestling focus for my guys that want to talk wrestling, but even anything else that you want to talk about, it's totally up to you. But is there even a gimmick going on, or is it just Taker versus Goldberg? Are they in a cage? Is it a hardcore match? Is it anything else? Is there a gimmicky to it? Because that'd be hilarious if it was. Brad Beer Hunter says XFL 2.0 because Vince didn't learn the first time. I know. Well, to be perfectly honest, I think that if Vince is able to actually not make the same mistakes as he did with the first XFL, I'm okay with it. Because honestly, I think the NFL sucks now. The NFL has really just, gone down the tubes ever since they became political. And ever since political action became a part of their stuff, and ever since they started to continue to overpay their athletes even more and more, the union, the strong players union, changing things, changing rules, changing regulations, it's just stupid. It really is. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are sports fans, but I'm sorry. And you can be critical of WWE, say, oh, you're going to be critical of this, be critical of American football, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, yeah, go right ahead and be critical of me for being a wrestling fan. I totally accept that because I think especially when it comes to main products like WWE, there's a lot of criticism to be had too. But you know what? If we're able to get Vince to actually maybe give us a viable alternative, I'll be okay with that. Whether we do get a viable alternative still remains to be seen. He's putting a lot of money into it. He's putting millions upon millions. I'm a billionaire. He's got millions of dollars to put into it. So let's hope that he does something okay. Brad says that So, oh man, now this would be a reason to watch that match in Saudi Arabia. So Brad's fantasy booking here. He says, the loser of the match between Goldberg and Undertaker. Loser gets Medicare. Loser gets Medicare or loser loses Medicare? Depending on who you ask, I guess you could say that would be a win or a loss either way. Now that would be quite a stipulation. He also put out there, winner gets a hip replacement. Well, I think Undertaker's already ahead of the game there because I believe he's already got at least one hip replacement. So that'd be funny. To be honest, though, Goldberg's actually in pretty good shape. Goldberg's actually in very good shape. He's never been like a wrestling wrestler. He's always been more of a power move guy. That's why his matches were so short, because he never really had the stamina. He never really had the wrestling skills to be able to put on a 5-star wrestling match. He was always that guy that could just put on just a bare bones power move, show, which is why, to me, this match doesn't make any damn sense, because, Undertaker can only do so much with his age. And if he had the right person, Undertaker could put on at least a half-decent match. And instead you put him in the ring with Goldberg, who at his age and also with his skill set can do a spear, can do a jackhammer, and good Lord, not going to see a jackhammer happen against Undertaker. And if it is going to happen, it's going to be a pretty sloppy looking, because Undertaker is a pretty big dude in the first place. Goldberg's strong, but remember that for the jackhammer to work, you also need to have that core strength from the other person to be able to hold themselves up. And I don't think Undertaker really has that strength anymore. So, God, that match is going to be a train wreck. It's going to be, I just hope it's not as bad as that damn tag match they had last time they were in Saudi Arabia. It was the Triple H, the one that made Shawn Michaels get out of retirement. That was so pathetic and sad, because Shawn Michaels is easily one of the all-time greatest wrestlers, especially in the WWE. And what he used to be able to do is incredible. And I'm sure, he's still in good enough shape. He could still put on a good match. In the right circumstances, with the right partner, I think that he could still put on a good match. But that tag match that he was a part of the last time they were in Saudi Arabia, oh my God, it was so bad. It was evil. Brad says, Taker is more machine than man. Yeah, at this point, he's like the bionic man. And Brad also says, I'm calling the cops for elder abuse. No, seriously. Seriously, there is like elderly abuse going on when it comes to these matches at this point. All right, heading back over to my YouTube peeps. McCarthy says, Kevin and Sammy faced the New Day last night. I forgot who won. Oh, Lord. God. Again, I like Kevin and Sammy being together, but aren't they supposed to be on different promotions? This wild card rule is such a cop-out. I mean, seriously, it's so funny. When he first said it, it was like 3 people and only 3. And then all of a sudden it became officially 4 people. And now sometimes I feel like it doesn't even matter. Like, seriously, the rules are just made up as it goes along. I feel like we're on an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where the points don't matter, the rules just don't matter anymore. Things that used to make sense just don't make sense anymore. Things that used to matter don't matter anymore. Why not, instead of just having this wild card rule, why not just say, all right, brand split's done. Brand split has failed. It's done. Anyone is going to show up at any time. They're not going to do that, of course, because they want to make sure that they have that money and that deal with Fox that they have when SmackDown moves to Fox in the fall. But, God, it's just so stupid. It's ridiculous. Oscar Garley says, I would love to see a Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega match. That would be amazing. Seth Rollins, though, he seems like the kind of guy where he's pretty much, he's a WWE lifer. Unless he gets injured again, unless he gets like a major injury again and is out for several months and is treated in a certain way, I do not see a situation where Seth Rollins leaves, personally. At least at this point in his career, because he's pretty much got everything. Force Coach Jeremy says, have you seen the trailer for the Dark Crystal series on Netflix? I have not seen the trailer yet. I've seen clips and pictures of it, though, and I like their use of the practical effects. It looks just like the original, which is a good thing. That's what you want it to be. You don't want it to be a modern-day take on Dark Crystal. People are going to watch it because they want to be reminded of the original Dark Crystal, not because they want to have anything else. No problem at all to change the subject, Force Coach Jeremy. This is indeed an open forum, so obviously wrestling questions will be the main focus, but we, of course, will cement heroes is what I just heard. X-People will be the new name. Is that what you heard? Good Lord, man. If they do that, seriously, that's ridiculous. And if those that don't know, we had an extremely weird trailer, or I guess clip, from the new Dark Phoenix film, which comes out tomorrow. Good Lord. And that film, I just think, is just going to bomb. It was already going to bomb. The clip that came out, it's not going to help it. Where you have a conversation between Professor Xavier and Mystique. And the conversation is a good conversation. It's like, oh, they're talking about serious things. And then Mystique is about to leave, and she ends with, and you know what? The women have been stepping up and saving the men lately. Might as well start calling us the X-Women. And then leaves. And I'm like, wait, what? That line came out of nowhere and makes no sense and is totally unnecessary. Why was that? Oh, God. And seriously. And it's so funny because there were people that were leaving comments trying to say it's obviously a joke. It was obviously not meant to be taken seriously. And it's like, I'm sorry. If you think that, you are naive. You are ignorant of everything that's been going on in Hollywood, especially under Marvel at this point. and you're a lost cause if you can't understand and see through the BS that is. Senate, what's going on, Senate? How's it going, bruv? Alex McCarthy says Triple H, Randy Orton had a hilarious face-off on Raw. Oh, I can't wait. Was it as hilarious as the face-off between Triple H and Batista, where it says, "Give me what I want, give me what I want, give me what I want"? That was hilarious. That back and forth, especially since when I watch wrestling, since I normally can't watch it live, especially when it comes to the 3-hour Raw, I watch it on 2.5 speed. And some people might say, oh, but you're going to miss them. The matches can't be nearly as good. Well, are the matches even that good on Raw in the first place anyway? Not likely. And so as I was watching that one on like 2 times speed at the time, it was hilarious. Give it to me. And I had to watch it back on real time and be like, how did this actually play out? And how did the crowd react in real time to this? So if it was anything like that, that would be cool. That would be great. MCOC, what's going on, man? John Early says YouTube is like the WWE after they bought WCW and ECW. They're the only game in town unless you count Twitch. And I mean, yeah, and when it comes to Twitch, Twitch has its problems too. Twitch is like, oh, if you want to stream here as a partner, then you have to only stream here and your content has to stay here for 24 hours. I did just watch a video. Someone tweeted at me. Someone sent me a tweet on the Twitters. There is apparently someone who has created an app called Notify. And it's a way for people to basically connect all of their social medias and get actual notifications when videos and live streams and things like that go live. Because since YouTube's not going to do it, you might as well have to go out of your way to get another app to notify you for another app. It's one of those things where it's like, it's stupid that we have to get to this point where someone had to invent this because YouTube just can't get notifications right for some reason. But I'm holding off on that one a little bit because someone did reach out to me through DMs that they're working on something similar to that, but they're trying to make it into kind of more of a social media. So it's like you get notified, but you can also utilize it as social media. So it sounds almost like the same type of app. So I don't know if it's the same people or not. Honestly, I don't remember. But stay tuned to that. Of course, once that happens, I'll let anyone who wants to sign up for it. That way, if you have not been getting notifications, you can at least have an app that will probably more likely than not give you notifications, because notifications are kind of an important thing when it comes to YouTube. MCOC, how do you get Odin's attention on this channel? Well, at Welcome to Asgard is the best way. It shines up orange for me, but these chats in the morning, especially on the secondary channel, are usually so slow that normally there is no need for that. The only reason why there's an Odin question, like why Odin question is necessary on the main channel during the main streams, is because the chat gets so crazy that it's the only way to limit the amount of comments that are read, and therefore it allows me to not fall too far behind. So we're a little bit old school for now until this channel and until these early streams, especially when it comes to wrestling. Because, yeah, there's already plenty of awesome wrestling channels out there, and I'm definitely not a wrestling channel. I just like talking wrestling, and so I figured I'd dedicate a day and a stream to talking about wrestling. So that's how you get my attention, though. As McCarthy says, it doesn't have to make sense. It's The Undertaker. I know, right? It's The Undertaker. He shows up, and he has a match. Why do we need anything? Why do we need to have any storyline? All you need to be like, oh, he's The Undertaker. I'm sure, that's probably Vince behind the scenes too. Oh, he's The Undertaker. You don't need it. That story writes itself. Come on, guys. The story writes itself, right? All right, we're going to have Undertaker walk out there, do his stare down, and boom, the match has been made. God, Vince McMahon, dude, you've fallen so far. You've fallen so far from grace. What has happened to you? What has happened to you, indeed? Spidey Flash says, what is so entertaining about staged fighting? What is so entertaining about television in general? About any movie? You know that TV shows and movies in general are all actors, all playing a part, all being given lines, and all doing various things. Why do you, I'm sure you do, like action sequences with stuntmen and stuntwomen doing crazy things? There really is very little difference between them. All this it's a live TV show. It's like almost as if it's a live soap opera, as how it's oftentimes been described. It's like a live soap opera, a live drama being played out before us that happens to have wrestling in the middle. And obviously, there are certain things that can be done very well. There are certain things that have been done very well. There's other things that have been done very poorly. And so we look to that, and we understand it, and that's why we love it. Because these are characters that are developed over time. And unfortunately, character development on wrestling nowadays has really sucked. Like, has been really, really bad. But we watch it because we remember just how good it used to be and how there are still certain characters that have been well developed, and that's why we're very excited for AEW, because AEW has a lot of potential to be a great character building moment. Also, too, when it comes to WWE, I will still stand by NXT any day of the week. Holy crap, NXT TakeOver, was it 25? Amazing. An amazing show. Storytelling in the ring, great wrestling all throughout. The only criticism I have, like the biggest problem that I have, is the fact that Shayna Baszler is still the NXT Women's Champion. I'm so tired of it. And she has her defenders out there, but she can't wrestle. She's not a wrestler. I think that she should be in a stable with her two other friends who also can't really wrestle either. And then they can just be like a brute force where they don't really wrestle. They just beat people up, Like, I don't like her being in the title picture, to be honest. I'm kind of ready for her to move on to the main show, so that way they can do this whole fantasy booking of, the horsewomen of WWE versus the horsewomen of the UFC. Now, of course, there's been a giant wrench thrown in that, seeing that apparently Sasha Banks is not happy behind the scenes. Sasha Banks has not been seen for a very long time at this point, and we're hearing rumblings that she wants out of her contract, that she wants to leave. So, hey, looks like that storyline might be out of the game, and so therefore it's like, okay, then let's just, go ahead and move on from that, because if that was the only reason why you were building up in the first place, I mean, let's just move on in general, As McCarthy says, to quote Ollie from Wrestle Talk, what are the rules? No, seriously. And Ollie is totally right. And by the way, shout out to Wrestle Talk. Wrestle Talk, great YouTube channel, great podcast. Love those guys. Let's see. Evo says, feminism is a joke. Modern day feminism, for sure. Jonathan Eaton says, hey, Odin, off topic. Did you see Jeremy's video about Brie Larson being set up to play Ahsoka Tano in a live action in his opinion? I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that video. And I pray to God it's not true, and I pray to God it doesn't happen, because that would absolutely suck. Frank the Tank and the Shaw and Wiener Dog Clan is here. What's up, Frank? How's it going, Frank? Hope the puppies are all right. Alex McCarthy says that Vince impression, well, I'm glad that you appreciate it. I'm glad that you appreciated it. Lou, can you dig it? Can you dig it? Suck up. Booker T. I miss me some Booker T. Alex McCarthy says, Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon feud is just plain boring. No, seriously. In what world does Roman Reigns, who is the most pushed person in history, and again, I understand that, I felt for him when he announced that he had cancer, and when he got in remission, I was very happy. As, someone who lost a really good friend early in my life to cancer, I obviously have a very personal connection to that. But at the same time, too, the fact that they're using it, because that's what they've done. They've used it as a way to propel him back into the main picture. And the fact that they're feuding with Shane, of all people, I mean, I guess it's because they had another feud in mind, and because they're not going to Saudi Arabia, they decided to put, I don't know, but it's stupid. It really is stupid. God, the Shane McMahon, like, in what world would Shane McMahon ever win? Like, or even stand a chance? It's so stupid. That the storylining of the main show has just been absolutely stupid. Seriously. As McCarthy says, I hear Adam Cole, baby, is going to the main roster soon. But he just won a main title. He just won the NXT title. Why would he be going up there? No, I don't want Adam Cole. You know what? There are a lot of the people in NXT, I want them to just stay on NXT. I don't want their characters to be ruined. Seriously, stay on NXT. It might not be where the money is, but you know what? At the very least, at least you're not going to have your careers ruined by getting involved in contracts that you can't break the hell out of. I mean, I love Adam Cole, and I think that he's a main event personality, but God, it's gotten to the point now where the main show is so bad that I fear whenever NXT call-ups happen. I don't want NXT call-ups to happen because I don't want the NXT stars to be screwed over, as almost every single one of them has been. But Adam Cole, baby! Oh, Adam Cole's great. Rogue Baron, what up? What's going on, Rogue Baron? Alex McCarthy says, Sasha Banks, I hear, might be moving to NXT like Tyler Breeze. I miss Breezango. Tyler Breeze, dude, I'm glad that he's back on a place in a show that's going to appreciate him, with a crowd that's going to appreciate him. And he had one hell of a match. He had one hell of a match with Velveteen Dream. Great match. And, yeah, Sasha Banks moving, okay. Sasha Banks, I think, would work very well in NXT. Whatever makes her happy. Lou, hope you had a good day, mate. Thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate it. It's still the morning for me, so still hard to say one way or the other. It's 9:40 in the morning for me. Jeremy says, haven't watched the WWE Raw since Raw 1000, which was the 2013, I think. Yeah, and oh man, yeah, Raw is just, it's not really gotten much better. John Early says, WWE is pretty much a joke right now. Does anyone even remember the Attitude Era back when they were called the WWE? Oh, I do, John Early. Of course. All of us do. Any hardcore wrestling fan longs for the days of the Attitude Era when wrestling was just better, when the characters were better, more fleshed out, given time, when the wrestling, I think, too, among the main roster was better. It may have been a different style, but I think that overall it was a hell of a lot more compelling. You didn't have to tiptoe around any of this nonsense, and it was great. It was great. I miss it. I do. And that's why I loved AEW, trying to say that they were, that match between Cody Rhodes and Goldust, as I will always call him, Dustin Rhodes. I mean, the fact that he was like, I'm going to kill the Attitude Era is what he was trying to say. It was basically a huge AEW like saying, we're going to war with WWE. And good, you know what? WWE needs that competition because WWE needs competition in order for itself to be pushed to actually care about its storylines and care about its characters. And so that storyline was great on the Double or Nothing show, but also too, I think it shows you that a lot of people are like, all right, even though we have all that nostalgia for the Attitude Era, let's move on to something new, something better. And hey, AEW, I think, is that thing. All right, heading over to my D-Live peeps. Let's see, D-Live's peeps right here. Let's see. Brad says, are we now over Roman's cancer so I can crap on him again? I mean, seriously, you can tell with the audiences too. The audiences are like, okay, dude, we in real life, we do think that it's great that you have overcome cancer, but that doesn't make you a good wrestler. That doesn't make you a good promo, and that does not mean that you should be at the top of the card. And I think you're starting to see audiences are not really giving him the cheers that they were when he first came back. And that's because WWE was like, all right, back to exactly what we were doing before. That was over pushing him, overhyping him, now having him in a match with Shane McMahon. And guess what? Everyone's going to be bored to hell in that match because no one cares. Why would I care about a Roman Reigns match against Shane McMahon, of all people? Brad Beer Hunter says, Dark Phoenix because you're not good at wasting time. Peabody says, I was amazed to see a trailer for another Rambo Last Blood. Yeah, the Rambo Last Blood trailer looks interesting. I will say that much. Should be Rambo Last Rites. Yeah, I mean, should be. And I think, and I'm hoping and praying that this is actually going to be the last Rambo film. From what I hear, Rambo First Blood is what the first one's called, right? The first Rambo film is the only movie worth watching. The rest is just a bunch of fluff. So I'm hoping that this last one is good too. Brad says, turn on your notification bell so you know when the stream ends. I know, seriously, right? That's what it seems to be. Brad says, Peabody, take it sold. Brad says, did you catch the Ambrose Jericho podcast? I've listened to the first 10, 15 minutes on it. And I will say this much, shout out to Moxley. He has been given, he was very balanced. And obviously I think that he had to tiptoe a little bit because his wife still works for the company. But he was being very balanced. I think he was being very fair. He was saying, all right, let me talk about how things are and how stupid and ridiculous it is, but also just not crapping all over it completely. He wasn't really being as vicious as some other wrestlers have been after leaving WWE. So I think he did that more out of respect for his wife than anyone else. But yeah, it was great. The first 10, 15 minutes that I was listening to, he was fantastic. Yeah, Moxley buried Vince, but in a good way. Yeah, seriously, absolutely. Brad B. Hunter says, horse women. I know, right? Yeah, that's right. Cat riding a unicorn is pretty much what I have to say about that. Blaze NFPS. What's going on, Blaze? Welcome to the channel over on D-Live. Appreciate it. Odin, exactly. Adam Cole, baby. Yep, Adam Cole is going to be put to sleep just like any other NXT call-up. And that's why it's like, no, you know what? Leave Adam Cole as NXT champion. Leave all of those people where they are. Don't bring, God, could you imagine how they will destroy the... oh my gosh. Again, early morning brain is just flaking out right now. How they will destroy the Undisputed Era. Could you imagine how Vince is going to utterly and completely destroy the Undisputed Era? I mean, it's going to be awful. And so, no, stay in NXT where you are loved, where you are being given great opportunities to build, where you're doing great things. Stay there. Brad B. Hunter says, Raw 1000, what a crap show that was. Yeah, was Raw 1000, was that the one when they did it in two different venues and pissed off a lot of people because most of the time in one of the venues they were just watching a screen? Is that what Raw 1000 was, or am I thinking of a different milestone that they were trying to celebrate? Because, yeah, I mean, they've all been crap. I mean, all of them have been crap at this point. Seriously, it's just been awful. It's just been total and utter trash at this point. Alex McCarthy says, I still watch Attitude Era on WWE Network. Yeah, I don't use WWE Network that much, to be honest. And the only reason why I still have it is for the pay-per-views and for NXT. And I will say this much. If AEW starts to really prove itself to be a better show, I'll cancel my subscription in a heartbeat, Spy Flash says, Brie as a live-action Ahsoka would be the true death of Star Wars for me. Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that anyone would even talk about it at this point should disgust people. Asper says, AEW has one of the best wrestlers from the Attitude Era, Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho has reinvented himself once again, and he is still putting on great matches. Of course, his style has changed over the years because he's pushing 50. He's still great. He's still doing excellent matches. So, yeah, AEW's got a lot. John Lee says, I've tried to watch TNA Impact Wrestling on my Pluto TV app on my Roku, and I just couldn't get into it all, Father. Well, TNA Impact Wrestling has gone through a lot over the years. There was a time when it was pretty good, when it could definitely be seen as a legitimate competitor as far as the quality of product that they were putting out. But then it got taken over by a bunch of former WWE, WCW people, and then it just kind of went off the rails. And then they tried to bring it back, and then it was too late really for it, and now it's just kind of lost in the shuffle of things. Yeah, so it's on its last leg. It's on its last life. I don't know how much longer Impact Wrestling is going to be around for, especially with AEW being around. I think that AEW is going to be picking up talent left and right from all different places, all different parts of the world, and I would say that they are probably going to be one of those areas that are going to be picked apart by it. No question about it. Asper says, Renee Young bores me. The only commentator I like is Corey Graves. Renee Young was fine during her Talking Smack segments. Like, to bring back Talking Smack and put her there, fine. She's great. And also with NXT, Beth Phoenix, I think that she's a great wrestler. I really do. As far as the women's wrestling, Women's Revolution, she was an excellent part of that because she is strong as F. However, it doesn't make her a great commentator. Though I will say I think that Beth Phoenix at least is better than Renee Young, because Renee Young tries to be a character and fails at it and then changes her character constantly, and Beth Phoenix is just a voice. Like, Beth Phoenix is just there to say a few things every now and then. So either way, I mean, God. But yeah, Corey Graves is amazing. Corey Graves and Mauro Ranallo are the two best commentators that they currently have right now. Seriously. Like, there's some other pretty good ones, like Nigel McGuinness I really do like Nigel McGuinness. And I even like, Tom over, is that his first name? Todd Phillips? Todd Phillips over on SmackDown. I think Todd Phillips is a hell of a lot better, match commentator, match caller than freaking Michael Cole. But I will say this much. I think that Mauro Ranallo is excellent on NXT. Love him on NXT. Don't want him to be moved from NXT because he's great exactly where he is. And I said this in a tweet the other day when I was watching NXT. I want them, and they should really think about this, I want them to put a Mauro camera live, so that way during every pay-per-view and during every NXT live show, you literally get to see Mauro and you see all of his reactions. Because that man gets into every freaking match, and it's beautiful to see. He is a fan, and that is the reason why so many people love him. Because not only is he great at his job, but he's also a fan as well. Alex McCarthy says, even Triple H is displeased by NXT call-up treatment. I bet he would be, because he's the one that's been crafting these guys as being just, ready-made main eventers, and then Vince gets them, and it's just like, no, mid-card of evil. Well, you're just not going to be on television. And the problem is because they've got too many people. They've got 3 hours of time, but they can only focus on so many storylines, and they focus just on storylines. Like, seriously. How much wrestling actually takes place during a Raw or SmackDown? Not much. SmackDown used to be a lot better about that, but even SmackDown now is starting to take a hit with all of this stupid, wild card role. Because now it's like, okay, so now it's Raw 2.0, where you're just continuing the same storylines and story arcs, and you're not letting SmackDown be its own thing with having the best wrestling stuff. Alex McCarthy says, I believe that was Raw 25. Okay, Raw 25. That was the one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Raw 1000, Raw 25, different shows. Yeah, Raw 25 was a train wreck. Again, Raw 25 was a train wreck. Cobra Viper 999 says, Vince doesn't care for NXT. He destroys them when they get called up. He does. There are very few NXT people that really get the push they deserve. John Early says, did you know if John Cena retired from the WWE because he's trying to be an actor now? Well, he's a part-timer. That's what he is. He is a part-timer officially. And so that is his current gig, is that he is an actor. He is going. It's so funny because he was a part of Storyline against The Rock for so long about saying how this is my home and I'm always going to be home here, blah, 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 blah. And now he's going off to be an actor. And he does not have nearly the amount of charisma as The Rock does. The Rock is a star. The Rock is someone that, should be a star at this point. John Cena sucks as an actor. So, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it's money. I'm sure he's getting paid a crap ton of money for it. And as a part-timer, he's probably getting paid very, very handsomely for that as well. But yeah, John Cena is not officially retired yet. He's still wrestling, but very, 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 very part-time. Rhaegar Targaryen says, popping in before work. Well, Rhaegar Targaryen, thank you very much for stopping in. I appreciate it very much so. I appreciate it. Brad Noble says, my dream job is WWE writer or Walmart greeter. Well, hey, man. Brad, dreams come true, man. All you got to do is try. All you got to do is try, and you can make those dreams come true, man. Rhaegar Targaryen says, Vince is the man. No, Vince is not the man. Vince sucks. If Vince was just if he was just an on-TV personality, okay, fine. You know what? I would be like, all right. I don't mind him as a personality, but him behind the scenes as a writer, as a creator, nope, he's not. Oscar Riley says, I'm not really a Morrow fan. I'm probably the only one. How can you not be a Morrow fan, dude? You are just, Alex, you've disappointed me. And he says, John Cena is the new host of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? God. And the question is, no, he is not. Will Gentry says, good morning, wrestling fans. What's up? What's up, Will Gentry? How is it going? How is it going indeed? All right, heading back over to my D-Live peeps. The murder of Bullet Club. Yeah, seriously. It was the murder of Bullet Club. No question about it. God, seriously. Gallows and Anderson have been so underutilized. They've been on the same show with Finn Balor. They've been on the same show with AJ Styles, and they've done nothing with it. They could have had an incredible stable with those guys, and instead they're like, nope, we suck at writing him, so we'll continue to stuck at writing. Ed Stole My Wife says Brad about Beth Phoenix. Yeah. Brad apparently loves Beth Phoenix. What? Says Brad. Are you doing a Stone Cold Steve Austin? What? But, yeah. So, anyway, it seems like Raw and SmackDown were pretty much forgettable this week. Not worth seeing, which is pretty much the case of what every Raw and SmackDown has been for a very long time now. And as I said before, that's why I wish AEW would just start now. Just like, seriously, start up now, build up over time. Sure, it might not be perfect right away, but that's okay. Give us an alternative, and we will gladly start to switch over there. I will say the only criticism of AEW, and I know why they're doing it, is the fact that they've said that they're not going to have a pay-per-view every month. It's going to be like every couple months or so. And I know that they're doing it because they don't want to overwork. They don't want to overbook. They don't want to oversaturate. But at the same time, too, man, oh man, if I could have a Double or Nothing type pay-per-view every single month, I would be down. And I think that with the amount of talent that they're going to have coming in, both like full-time AEW and also even some part-time AEW people, I think that they would have the amount of people to be put on to be able to put on, if not a pay-per-view, at least like a special event type show, a special event type gig. I think that's what they would be able to do. Woo Dean Impress. I don't know what that means, but hello, welcome. Will Journey says, do you always simulcast here on D-Live whenever you're streaming on YouTube? It depends. So normally I am. Normally I do. Yesterday I didn't. For the movie streams, no. And the reason why is because it's already hard enough keeping up with the chat in the movie stream on the YouTube channel as well. So D-Live, I could, but I wouldn't be able to interact with the chat. And then at that point, it's like, well, then what the hell is the point of simulcasting to D-Live if I'm not interacting with the people over on D-Live, you know? So that's the reason why. But most of my streams, yes. Anytime you have the main Monday, Tuesday evening streams, the Monday morning stream, I'm doing stuff over on D-Live as well. So most of the streams, I'm also simulcasting on D-Live as well. Thursdays are the only days where it's just one platform, and that, of course, is because Twitch does not allow me to do anything else. So, and for tomorrow's Twitch stream, I'm debating whether or not to do a movie stream or to do a gaming stream. I think I'm going to do another gaming stream because I do want to play some old school stuff. I do have a Pokemon trading card game that I can play that I personally would like to play personally. But also it's going to be open forum discussion, just like today is. Today is an open forum discussion. So again, does not have to be wrestling related. If you do not want to talk about it, as you say, it's the one man low council, WWE, AEW open forum. So if there's anything else, any other topics that you want to talk about that might not be wrestling related, that's okay. And Will Gentry, dude, thank you so much for the ice cream, man. I really do appreciate it. Ice cream. Brad Beer Hunter says, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy every month. I want that. Yes. I was just introduced to Jungle Boy for Double or Nothing. Seems like a cool dude. Brad Beer Hunter also says, and how in the hell did Luchasaurus become my new favorite wrestler? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. I cannot answer that question. I cannot answer what is in your mind. John Early says, Vince McMahon puts ketchup on his steak, according to Jim Ross. I've read an old issue of WWE magazine. That's how old I am. Well, actually, that's not as rare as you would think. There's actually a lot of people that do that. As odd as it is, and as blasphemous as it is to me, there are some people that swear by it. Alex McCarthy says, Morrow wasn't an Alexa Bliss fan when he was on commentary on SmackDown Live. Normally, I would be okay with it, but my wife looks and acts like Alexa Bliss. Dude, seriously? That's going to be your reason why you don't like Morrow? Because of Alexa Bliss? Come on, Alex. Get off with that nonsense. Kevin Street says, hi, Odin, big wrestling fan my whole life and haven't watched a live or Raw on SmackDown since 2017. You're not missing much at all. I still have the network and watch all the pay-per-views, but the live TV shows have so much garbage. Oh, they are. There's such hot garbage. Really not worth watching at this point. NXT is really the only weekly show they have that it's worth watching. I'm kind of upset, though, that they're all pre-taped. I want NXT to be a live show. I would love for that because we always get the articles that come out saying, oh, spoilers about who's coming over to NXT. It's like, no, let it just happen authentically. Let it happen live. And now I know that it would cause some chaos and that they can't do that, etc. But you know what? I would love to see that. I would love to see a live NXT. Jonathan Dean says, what do you think of the Russo brothers doing a Magic the Gathering series next? Hey, I think that as long as they do it right, they'll be okay. The Russo brothers can do good stuff. Remember that I have been a Russo brothers fan for a while. You know, Winter Soldier was great. Infinity War was fantastic. I really like Civil War as well. The only film so far that I've had any issue with has been Endgame. And especially with them fighting with their writers about how time travel works has really kind of, soured them a little bit. But you know what? They do have the ability to put out good content. And so if they do it right, it could be good. I never played Magic the Gathering, so I don't really know. I don't have too much basis in it. But hey, if they're able to get it done and they're able to do it right, hey, could be okay. Alex McCarthy says, I am an Alexa shill, I will admit it. Well, I mean, you didn't need to. It was pretty obvious already. John Oy says, some people like to compare Marvel Studios pushing Captain Marvel to the way WWE used to push John Cena. I would say more likely and more accurately that it would be the way they're pushing people like Roman Reigns. NXT is solid, especially because it gets to the point. The 3-hour weekly show kills it. Kevin Street, I agree with you. The 3 hours sucks, but it meant more money, and that's all they care about is the monies. Spotted Flash says, I've dipped my steak in Chick-fil-A sauce. Interesting. Chick-fil-A sauce. That is that's a bold choice, Cotton. I hope it works out for you. Man, oh man, oh man. All right, heading back over to my D-Line people. Will Gentry says, this is all going over my head. The only 2 times in life I knew anything about wrestling was 1, when Hulk Hogan was the man, and The Undertaker first came out when then I saw nothing until a few years later, and 2, when CM Punk and Daniel Bryan were big a few years ago. Well, Daniel Bryan's back. Daniel Bryan has a pretty good gig, but even he's now kind of getting buried underneath the nonsense of everything else that's going on. He's another one of those persons. I think he also was one that denied and refused to go to Saudi Arabia. So kudos to him for refusing to go to Saudi Arabia. Again, I respect the hell out of people that would make that choice. Brad Beer Hunter, thank you very much for the ice cream over on D-Live. I appreciate that so much, man. Peabody says, when did you guys stop speaking English? Wrestling talk is a foreign language. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure, Peabody. Hamdullah, thank you for the follow over on D-Live. I appreciate it, man. Brad says, Peabody is looking for cheap heat to bury us and get over. And then Peabody says, I just can't join in. Well, Peabody, remember, this is also open forum, man. But the stream is about to end because I am going to keep the stream to roughly an hour, and we're almost at that hour point. So let me just start to wrap things up a little bit. As McCarthy says, today is Wednesday. Double dose of NXT tonight. Double dose of NXT tonight. Is there 2 shows of NXT? Oh, NXT UK. Oh, yes, NXT UK. That's right. I haven't been able to get into and follow NXT UK because I haven't had time. I have not had time to follow much of anything. You know, even though I'm not teaching right now, even though I have summer vacation, I feel like I am just as busy as I was before because of everything going on with the show and all the other craziness of stuff going on behind the scenes. Will Gentry says, what do you think about Queen Brie playing Ahsoka? I think that's stupid. That's trash. If they decide to do that, it's going to be awful. And I think they're going to get an even bigger backlash than what they got beforehand. That's what I think. That's a stupid decision. That is a stupid choice. All right, guys. Well, I am indeed going to wrap things up for the day. So as y'all leave any last-minute comments or questions, let me go ahead and shout out my patrons. Albertus Magnus, Baptist 702, Brandon Blick, Brian P., Chicago Joe 47, Dan Maloney, Darkstar 57, Delete System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka Funka Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Itch Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mello, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Projar, Sarif, Proper, Ginevra, Laura, Reef Magos, Shenglong, Sir Lancelato, Teodora, the K-Man, the DJD Show, those two bald guys, and Tina B. You are all amazing and beautiful people. All right, starting off over on the D-Lives. Will Gentry says, Ahsoka. Yeah, the spelling of Ahsoka has always thwarted my mind as well. Peabody says, if your post hasn't arrived by now, I am firing Quinatus. I have not gone through the post in a couple weeks, so trust me, it's on my to-do list. I'm going to try and find the will and the strength to do a Blu-ray hunting video today, and if I do that, a part of that is going to be going to the post, all right? So I will keep you posted on that, Peabody, if I find it, and if it is as indeed arrived, then it will probably be featured on, let's see, not tomorrow's Twitch stream. It'll probably be featured on the next Saturday stream, and I'll have to double check with you to see if this Saturday is going to be a regular, it's not going to be a movie stream because that's going to be kind of a once a month, twice a month thing at most. So it's going to be a regular old stream, and so Saturday will probably be when I unbox that. All right, probably when I unbox that. Let us see. Brad Beerhunter says, well, I hope that happens with every part of my black heart. I know, seriously. It would be the nail in the coffin, no question. If they chose Brie Larson to be Ahsoka Tano, that would just be, yeah, exactly, Will. Star Wars to me is already officially dead, like Disney Star Wars. I don't think Disney Star Wars has much of a chance of anything. Yes, I do still hold out hopes for things like The Mandalorian and Clone Wars Season 7, but in my mind, without those, all that we have right now are people that are going to be fans that are going to make their own content. And I think it's going to be a hell of a lot better than anything that we have going on right now. That's what I think about that. Oh, man. All right, enough wrestling. Are you going to see Dark Phoenix and tell us how bad it is? I am, Kevin Street, I am. I can't see it tomorrow, though, because of rehearsal. But I'm going to try and see that Friday morning. And I, of course, will have my money go elsewhere because I am not giving that movie a damn dime because I don't want any of my money going to support freaking Sophie Turner and all that stupid nonsense. But yes, I am going to go see it, going to vlog it, going to give you all my instant thoughts, instant reactions, that kind of stuff. All the good stuff. John Lee says, Vince Russo, former WWF writer, had dragged WCW TNA wrestling down into abyss. It's almost as if they're competition for Vince McMahon. Yeah, seriously. Vince Russo should never work for wrestling promotion ever again. Spy Flash says, I use Chick-fil-A sauce like it's ketchup. Interesting. Peabody, you have a good day, sir. Ask McCarthy, you have a good one as well. What you gonna do when Odin Mania runs wild on you? Great question, Alex McCarthy. May the force be with you and God bless. Spidey Flash, you as well. Son of a biatch. What's going on, man? Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Everyone have a wonderful day. Peabody, you have a wonderful day. You are in the future. You can tell me how it ends. The sun goes down. That's what I figured. That is what I figured. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this stream and for supporting it. I know that it's a little bit different than normal. I know that the timing is a little bit different than normal. And obviously, things are going to probably change at a moment's notice whenever, just because there is a lot of stuff going on. And as I said in the very beginning, I've been struggling a lot more so last couple of days with last couple of weeks really with anxiety. But yesterday with the news of my school and all the nonsense that it did, caused even more anxiety and everything else. So anyway, guys, thank you all for your love, for your support, for your prayers, guys. Again, been going to Mass every single day in the mornings for Latin Mass. So I've been praying for every one of you guys. So please pray for me. Keep me in your prayers as well. Let's pray for peace, pray for prosperity, and of course, pray for a greater sense of love and enjoyment and anything that you might need as an intention right now in your life. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, everyone, God bless.